I mean, just that whole story, like that's pay-per-view, guys. Like, you don't get a lot of that stuff.
I'll write a book one day.
How's it going, everyone? We are now live, and I would like to welcome everyone who is watching to the Sci Fi Sciciety Podcast, Volume 16. We made it to Volume 16, and yes, people, I am still around. I still exist. The Sci Fi Sciciety still exists, and I'm just off of the Japan trip. We'll talk about that soon, but of course, I'd like to welcome my crew, the Sci Fi Sciciety Metal Tavern. Walter Ross, aka Jedi Granville, the man of the hour, DJ Anubis from the Metal Tavern Radio Podcast, Anthony Jordan from Movies and More. Of course, got a hardcore Godzilla fan and enthusiast, Big Bad Wolf, and we are the Sci-Fi Sciciety. And Luckily, we do got 4 people watching, which is crazy for a random video. I decided to do it random. I'm feeling a little bit better. Been going through some stuff, especially the trip. The trip, I'm gonna be honest, it kicked my ass, man. I mean, as much fun as I had, and it was a dream come true. I lived the dream. I said it. I lived it. I loved it. But fuck, man, that trip, 13 hours on the plane over there and then 10 hours back was, oh my God, it was horrible. But on to the more positives. The trip was once in a lifetime. If you guys ever get the chance to go to Tokyo, Japan, or any part of Japan, Kyoto, Osaka, Yokohama, any part, you guys are gonna fall in love with that country, man. And whoever thought, a next thug, crazy motherfucker like me would ever get the chance to go to Japan, especially Tokyo. I'm blessed. Thank you, Lord. Thank you, God. I'm grateful. And yeah, man, it was an amazing trip. And I'm sure Nubis knows. Neko has traveled, the world probably more than I have. And she knows the struggles when it comes to traveling and being on a plane for so long. And but yeah, man, any questions you guys have, just let me know. And
I heard that I've heard through friends of mine that have been to Japan that they love Americans. Did you find that they were really friendly to you out there?
Well, aside from the fact that I looked like I got out of prison, it's it's kind of surprisingly, yeah, they have that look where, if they can tell you're a gaijin, they can tell that you're not, that you can tell you're foreign. But fortunately, a lot of them are very, very polite, very nice. If you're walking, like say you're walking on a path, like when I was in Koto City, when I was going to go get ramen, they move out of your way like 10 steps before you're even coming. So they'll move out of your way. They'll let you pass first. They'll bow. And since you asked, the fact that I learned some Japanese, they give you a little more attention. They want to conversate. They want to get to a little deeper, because if you're showing respect to their culture and you're being respectful as a person, like I was bowing, bro. I've never bowed so much in my life, but I was bowing to them, and they're like, "What the hell is this dude bowing?" But it was pretty crazy, especially on the train, man. Being on the train system over there, I went from Toyocho station, which was where I was staying in the city I was staying at, all the way to Shinjuku when I first got there, when I first landed. And people, it's the same way. They'll move out of your way. They'll be polite. They'll bow. And I did conversate with some of them in Japanese, and they're like, yeah, like so to answer your question, Nubis, they're very like if you show that you're interested in their culture and you're actually trying, they give you more attention, especially the girls.
But you said
Nothing wrong with
too,
that.
I'm sorry, you mentioned before too that it's much more cleaner over there too, right?
Oh, dude, I'm ashamed to fucking live where I live, bro, because there's no the only trash I saw was all bunched up in a very organized square at the edge of a street, but it was all organized and they were picking it up. But I never saw one stray animal. I never saw any trash on the floor. I never saw a homeless person. Like everything is clean over there, man. Everything is clean over there. And the food, I gotta say this, the ramen, man, is out of this world over there, bro. It makes the places where I eat from here, bro, third rate. Like third rate ramen, dude, compared to over there. And it's just the food is fantastic. Even their steaks. I went to a steakhouse. There was a steakhouse right there right underneath the hotel where I was staying at. And then there was a sushi bar, there was a supermarket, there was a mini mall, there was a 7-Eleven ATM, and there's 7-Elevens like crazy over there, dude. Like crazy over there. But it's real cool. Oh, and I did get because Anthony asked me about this, and I did get him one of these from the vending machines. They're like it's a Gundam vending. It's a Gundam vending. It was a Gundam vending machine, but they have all kinds. And he said he wanted one. This is what you really wanted, right?
Yeah.
So he wanted to get him one. I mean, it's only like 500. It was only like 500 yen. So it wasn't expensive. But dude, what's up?
Appreciate it.
No problem, man. And like, what else can I say about it? Like, I know I saw Anubis's first comment when I went to Shinjuku that first time, and it's funny, man. Like, it's so crazy that when I went to Shinjuku to go to the Hotel Gracery where they have the Godzilla head, I didn't even know, but when I got there, the song and the head started lighting up, and the whole thing just, I was like, what? It just lit up, and I'm like, I swear to God, I told Walter about this on the phone a few days ago that like literally God is being so nice to me, and he's like I went there at the perfect time.
Mm-hmm.
And I mean, it went on, bro. I swear, I was yelling before that. I was like, yeah, and everybody's like staring at me like, what the fuck's wrong with this dude? Especially the foreigners.
Yeah.
Like there was a lot of foreigners over there, and they were like looking at me like, what the hell's wrong with this dude? And I look at them back like, what? And it's like, and they're like, oh no, my bad. But it was cool, man. It was like when you saw that, guys, when you saw that video, Anubis, what went through your mind, bro?
Jealousy.
Same.
I have to wonder though, like, just your impressions. Like, in your opinion, is Godzilla bigger in Japan compared to martial arts, or did you think it was just the same?
To be honest, 6 days isn't a really long time for me to really like take it in to see how it is, but I went to a few of the stores there, and they had very little. Even the little gumball machines that I got, some of the gifts for my parents and for Cindy and for Anthony. There was hardly any. I didn't see any Godzilla, but I did when I went to the Skytree Mall. The only thing I saw of Godzilla or anything kaiju was it was a Gamera Rebirth like machine of like a gumball machine that
Oh, wow.
that actually, that was the only thing I saw. But when I went to the store, I was like, where's the Godzilla stuff? Like there was
They're probably sick of Godzilla. It's like go to the Toho Studios if you want that.
Maybe
like
it's
like
because-
go ahead.
I was getting ready to say maybe it's because it's kind of like how in America there's some things that aren't too big for us that are our main IPs, but overseas they literally rank up in sales. Maybe it's the
Like-
same thing here, to where like Godzilla isn't that much of a big deal to them because he's always this icon. It's hard for me to explain, but it's like
Yeah,
when you
like
go
how
here.
David Hasselhoff is not that big here, but they love him over in Japan.
Yeah, yeah. Like I was surprised. Like martial arts. I think it's mostly just not just martial arts, but I think it's the symbolism and the representation of the samurai,
Yeah,
ancient Japan. Like when I went to the shrines, when I went to the Komedo Tenshin Shrine, that place just it lit me up, bro. As much pain as I was in for my lower back, that place was so peaceful. Like I felt like a huge weight off my shoulders. Like the armor finally came off, man. That I can take it off and be at peace with my warrior spirit, and I can finally let go of all of that stress that I had and that fear of getting old and not being able to do what I want and just live in peace, live peacefully, inner peace, like Kevin Lambert had said, just finding that peace, because it's so peaceful over there. Even the cranes, there was cranes there chilling, hanging out. There was turtles, the koi fish, there was koi fish, and then even the pigeons and the birds were like just sitting there. Like I walked right past one, right next to it, didn't even flee or nothing. Like they're just it's a peaceful place, and it's so
And
it was
they're
just
probably used to people up there.
yeah, I'm pretty sure because they give them food and stuff like that. But it's not like here where you go to, like, say you go to a theater and the birds will just be there because people throw the popcorn they don't eat and they eat the popcorn, right? And they're not that scared. But there, it's like I was like literally, I could literally almost touch the bird and it wasn't moving. It wasn't fleeing or nothing.
So I have a question. Did you end up going to an area in Japan where you got to pet the deer that actually bowed to you?
No, man, no. I wanted to try, but I mean, I think that part is a little further, or I don't know. I don't even know if that's in Tokyo. I'd have to check. But there's so much stuff over there to do, man. Like, I mean, you can take the bullet train, or you can take like the metro train system that I took. I took it to Shinjuku, where I saw the Hotel Gracery. I saw Shinjuku for itself, bro. I'm not much of the nightlife anymore, so there was a bunch of like there. I went through the red light district, and there's it's just a lot of girls and bars, and I saw a lot of tourists.
Basically,
what's up?
Basically, Kamurocho from Yakuza.
Yeah, but it wasn't my thing, so I went back early. I think it was like 9. I had to take the train back over there. But when I did go to the Sky Tree, and I walked all the way from my hotel to the Sky Tree, and the Sky Tree was just, dude, it was the Sky Tree touches the clouds. That's how tall it is.
Does it seem like it's taller or about the same size as the Tokyo Tower?
No, it's way taller than the Tokyo Tower.
Okay.
It's the third largest structure in the world.
And you said it's called the World Tree. Is it like an actual tree?
No, Sky Tree. No, it's just a big huge tower.
Oh.
And
Call it that.
yeah, but and then going to when I went to the Sky Tree, and then I took a taxi because my back I couldn't take it no more, man. My back was killing me, so I took a taxi all the way to Shibuya Station, and then I went to see the Hachiko Memorial Shrine.
Yeah.
And it's funny, the day that I went, and I didn't even know this until 2 days later, that the day that I went was the anniversary of his passing.
Oh, dang.
So I was like, I didn't know that. Like I said, and like God looked down on me again, man, and said, okay, you know what, this is something special. And then I don't know if you guys saw in the video, if you guys saw it, I don't know if you guys saw when I went through the Shibuya crossing. Like I went all the way in. Yeah, when I crossed, it's kind of hard because I had my phone up like this and I still couldn't get like everyone. But it was crazy, dude. It's like, okay, I'll just say it was like a concert, like going to the memorial shrine for Hachiko and then going through the Shibuya crossing. It was so many people that it felt like you're at a concert. And that's not my thing, man. It took so much of my mental fortitude to like not get like my anxiety to not get so bad because of all the people. But when you're there, dude, when you're just there, like living a dream, and you're at somewhere where you've dreamed of going, it's that all of that just melts away for the majority of the time.
I'm pretty sure if one of us was there with you, you probably wouldn't experience that anxiety that came up. You know.
Maybe it would have been
absolutely.
fun.
Well, see, that's the thing. Like, if I ever were to go back, bro, I'm not going by myself, dude. Like, because when I went by myself, it was great. It was cool, but you know, at the end of the day, if I go to the hotel by myself, I'm like, shit, I'm by myself, and you know, I can go and talk to people, but I really don't know how, you know, if they make someone comfortable. I don't know if I'm gonna, you know, I don't know if I'm imposing on them. I mean, like, I even had to ask if I can pet their little Shiba dog. You know, I just wanted to make sure in Japanese. I asked them if it was okay, and they let me. Right. But it's different when you go by yourself. I mean, if I would have known any better, if there's anything I would change, it was changing the fact that I could have gone with someone. Like, that's the thing to do. But
yeah, any trip I want to make with people, I always try to make sure I do it with people, because I know by yourself it just isn't as fun.
Yeah, I mean, well, if for me, I felt that it was something I had to do as far as, you know, not only to live a dream, but for a spiritual journey. Like, you know, like a journey you have to feel, you have to do on your own. That's what I felt. But towards the end, like the last 2 days, I was like, man, I should have just brought somebody. Like, it could have just. Do you
feel like this was your way of trying to find your own path to inner peace?
Yes, absolutely. Like, dude. You nailed it right there, bro. It was a journey of finding not only inner peace, but it taught me a lot about myself and going into the unknown, bro. Going on that train, bro. That train is, they say that train system is the largest system in the world, the largest subway system. And I got lost a few times. Not gonna lie, I got lost. But you learn, you know, you learn as you adjust to it. And I took the bus, I took the taxis, I took the train, and it takes a lot, man. You gotta really love the fact that you're going to where you're going, to not be intimidated so much by the atmosphere. But if you love it, I mean, come on, we would all love to go to Japan, dude. It would just be like, you know, it's literally a dream. Yeah, like I cried. I'm not gonna lie. Like, anybody who's watching, even 1,000 people watching, I cried. Like, well, of course, in silence and solitude, but I cried. Like, you know, and it was of happiness. You know, it was of happiness that I did. You know, and I never thought I would go to Japan.
You know what I mean? So much excitement just going through your mind and body.
Yeah, you know, and even going to the Hachiko Shrine, because you guys know I'm an animal lover. A lot of us here are animal lovers, so I went there, and that brought out a lot of me. I found peace there, and then, you know, going to you know, eating at the steakhouse, I ate this the food is amazing. The rice balls are the real thing, bro. Those rice balls are the real thing. They're delicious. They have tuna, they have beef, they have salmon. Like, like, man, just thinking about it, I just want to go back to Japan just to eat.
Is it kind of like a sashimi in a way, I'm guessing? As you mentioned, there was salmon, tuna.
Yeah, but they just put it in the rice and seaweed. Even the seaweed is good, dude. Like, I was eating the seaweed, like, oh my god, it's so good.
I really want to eat straight up seaweed, because seaweed is actually, from what I looked up, as a superfood as well.
Yeah, it's great, but I mean, there's so much to talk about. But we'll get to with the shrine. You guys already know the shrine was, to me, it was very spiritual, very uplifting, very taught me a lot about myself, my limitations, my mental strength, my physical strength, my spiritual strength. It's a great thing, but we got to get to the heart of the trip, and that was Toho Studios.
Oh, I thought it was like how many Asian girls you saw in schoolgirl outfits. I thought that was the highlight.
Easy, Anubis. Don't get him in trouble.
Yeah.
Hey, I said women. They have to be legal, right?
As long as they're
no,
legal.
honestly, before we get to Toho Studios, there was both, dude. There was both. There was I think there was like a big. I think there was like a big school right there, like 6 minutes away from where I was staying, and there was little kids with the backpacks. There was the schoolgirls in their uniforms. There was the boys in their uniforms, and like even some of the old school uniforms that you see like in animes, like the ones that are like buttoned up and like dark pants. There's people wearing that, dude. And even cosplay in Shinjuku, there was people cosplaying. And there was even when I went to Shibuya, I took a picture with some of these girls that are in they were in a girl band, like I think it's a K-pop. No, not K-pop. J-pop or
bandmate.
And yeah, I took a picture with them, and whatever,
Sweet.
and it was cool. And even some of the locals in the train I talked with, and we had conversations. They took pictures and stuff like that, and I took a picture of them, and they wanted to take a picture with me, so it was cool. And they're very friendly over there, dude. They're very friendly. Everybody's polite, and it's cool, man. But like I said, Toho Studios. Yeah, but like getting the Toho Studios, man. Not only the Japanese culture, but Toho Studios was, man. That's the pinnacle of if any Godzilla fan goes. That's the pinnacle of going to Japan and being a Godzilla fan. And
that's a Godzilla fan's Graceland.
Right.
We should say any kaiju fans Graceland, because that's the pinnacle of the kaiju genre.
Yeah,
that's the Disneyland of any kaiju fan, basically.
Yep.
Yeah, and it's very I mean, when I got there, man, like even driving up in the taxi, because it was a long drive, man. It was like shit. I think I told Walter, I think that cab ride cost me almost like $300 or $400, like American, because it's far from my hotel, but I didn't care. I was like, take my fucking money, take my money. I didn't care, and it was a dream, man, and taking next to the Godzilla statue, and I tried like I had to really hold my emotions in when I was there. And then I saw you can't go in, obviously you can't go inside of the thing, but there's certain parts you can go. And I went to the side, and dude, there's cherry blossoms, dude. The cherry blossoms all over Toho Studios, like all over. And the cherry blossoms are beautiful, man. And they even go back to there's a lake. There's a lake right behind the main front part of Toho Studios. There's a lake with a whole bunch of more cherry blossoms. And it was beautiful, man. I wanted to stay longer, but like I said, I only stayed about close to 20 minutes because I told that taxi driver, just keep going, man. Keep the meter going. I don't care. And it's just beautiful, man. And like taking a picture, even a couple there were nice enough, and my taxi driver were nice enough to take pictures for me on front of the statue. So it was, like I said, man, you guys have to go there. You have to really go there to feel what I was feeling, man, because it was beautiful, man. And I missed it, and Kevin told me late, and so did Walter. I didn't know, I didn't see that they had a table for the memorial for Satsuma-san, for the Heisei the Heisei suit actor, the suit actor for Godzilla. And I didn't even know. I didn't even see it. It's on my video too. Like if you watch it, you look at my video, you can look really close. It's right there towards one of the entrances. And I missed it, and I didn't know about it. And I was like, but yeah, dude. But that, as far as that goes, it was a dream come true, man. And when ever you guys go, bro, man, it's once in a lifetime. Like it is once in a lifetime, man.
If I ever go, I'm probably gonna be almost close to 60 when I do, but that'll be okay though.
By the time I go, depending on when that would be, that probably won't be until I'm finally in my 30s or maybe 40s. Who knows?
they never say never, man, and it's never too late, bro. It's never too late. Like I never thought I would go to Japan. I never, like, my wildest dreams thought I would go to Japan. I just said I'm gonna try. I'm gonna save up. I'm gonna try it. I'm gonna do it, and then I did it. And it's not easy because I mean I've never traveled overseas before, but it's a lot of, you got to catch this and going to LAX. LAX is a fucking enormous fucking airport, and you can get lost easily, miss your flight. But I was like, I almost missed the flight going to Haneda, but it was just, luckily I caught it. But now there it is, man. That was my trip, because just talking about it more, man, is gonna make me emotional. But
you start crying here, it's gonna be like, no, I don't want to do that.
Even if you could have been to Yokohama, they started taking the Gundam down before you arrived.
Yeah, I mean they took it down, and then there was other places I could have gone, but it's so big, dude. It's so big, and like 6 days is not enough to do all of that. I only got maybe 25%, but I went to the places I wanted to go to, which was Shinjuku, the Hotel Gracery, Shibuya, the Hachiko Memorial Shrine, the Sky Tree, and the Kamedo Tanjin Shrine. So I did about 5-6 things, and I was happy with that, man. Just being there was a dream. And I'm like, I'm just grateful for that, man. But yes, it was great. But now we talk about Godzilla X Kong. So, okay, you know what? I want Anubis to start it off. Start off on your thoughts on Godzilla X Kong, Anubis.
I loved it. I was hesitant going into it, obviously, because I thought that when it came to the villain, that having too much monkey was a bit unnecessary, but they wrote it out well. The script was good. The villain's okay. Scar King is okay, but I found Shino to be far more interesting as a creature than Scar King at this point. But story was stronger. As I said before in our review, the balance of the story versus the fun, GVK had more fun than balance of story. This had balance of story and fun, so it was a lot better written than GVK was. There was some silly stuff in there with the jumping from rock to rock, but it's a minor issue that I have with the film. Obviously, I like how they explained Godzilla getting his color. That was something everybody was kind of concerned about at first. But now we know how that transposed when he took on Tyrant and stuff like that, building up his power. So really, initially, I really loved it so much. So did Neko. We both came out of that first viewing like, this is amazing. We had a great time with it.
Good, man. Good. What about Jedi Granville?
Well, kind of same way with the movies, I mean, I really went in there blind because I was trying to avoid all the damn, TV spots and other trailers for it, and I'm just like, going into it, I didn't realize what was to be presented, and then when I saw what was on there, I was just like, whoa, okay, I didn't expect this. I didn't expect this character to come back. I just kind of knew about you, but I didn't really know what was her purpose there. And then when you see her, it's like, okay. It's like Lisa said, Star King, to me, he was more like a wannabe gangster. The way he was tripping like he was, when he goes around Kong, and do something like, yeah, you're going to get your ass wiped out quick, But all in all, the film did have that balance where you didn't have to have so much of the human protagonist, but it was mainly about what it was about, the titans, the kaiju, the monsters. We want to see that, and the interaction with them is actually better than I thought it would be, because you didn't have to have a lot of dialogue to describe what was going on with them, and when you see it, it's like, okay, you don't have no dialogue, but at the same time, it's like you understand what's going on. It kind of reminds me, or as if someone brought it out to me, it kind of reminds me of a little bit of Godzilla versus Megalon, where the battles, you see the battles, but you don't necessarily need a lot of dialogue to describe what's going on. And for this film, I could say it's the it's a childhood favorite for me because it brings out the inner child in me that I didn't think was available. But as I watch it, it's like, yes, this is something you can take your kids to watch, and hopefully they wholeheartedly enjoy it too.
Yeah, no, absolutely, man. I agree. And forgot to mention, man, little Loki, thanks for watching, brother. Just noticed everything. I'm so bad at this. Oh, Kevin Lambert from the entertainment headquarters. What is up? What is up, my brother? Thanks for stopping by. I know you're a little tired, and but thanks for stopping by, man. And much love to the entertainment headquarters and Kevin Lambert, aka Kaiju Pimp Daddy Goodness. And yeah, so okay, now we'll get to John.
All right, so coming into this, same with the other two, I was pretty concerned with the TV spots and some of the trailers. I went, okay, I'm afraid it's about to become a Godzilla King of the Monsters repeat because it looks good, but then they're showing too much, and I'm like, great, this probably may be the end of the Monsters, how they're going. But when I came into it, I mean, it started off pretty good. I enjoyed the opening to when Godzilla literally just absolutely demolishes Skylar and then just goes back out to sea. Which, funny thing, with him sleeping in the Coliseum, Adam Wingard said he got that from his cat. And so watching it furthermore, I did like what they did with Kong. Like, Kong, this is the first time Kong not only did not die in a movie, but his story went full circle. I enjoyed that he finally got to meet more of his kind. And of course, one of the funniest parts is when he took Stuka, literally used him as like a mace to hit the other Kong. And so many people on TikTok are memeing the heck out of that scene. Like you said, Dad, when he told you to get him beer 10 minutes ago, and he's just used him to beat up the other Kong. So I'm like, yep, this movie is already a success because so many people are using so many specific parts to meme. And what I also enjoyed, and this is something, of course, D-Man hates, but Godzilla is an absolute menace in this entire film. Like, for once, it did not feel like he was in any mortal danger. He was literally just wrecking left and right. And he was holding off Shima pretty good. Yeah, Shima was able to effortlessly push him back and everything. But overall, Godzilla is literally standing on business the entire movie. Craziest moment was when he freaking suplexed Kong off of the pyramid.
Yeah, we'll get into that. Like, we'll talk more about the film because I forgot how long that film is, man. When I went to see it yesterday, and it's a long film. But
luckily with how Adam Wingard did it, that 1 hour and 55-minute film literally went by that fast.
Yeah, it doesn't seem long at all. It just blows by.
Yeah, the pace he paced it right. Even like everything, he paced the human story. Starting off with Kong, adding Godzilla and Kong, like adding the pieces and the scenes together. Like it wasn't like lag. It like. I don't even think it lagged very much. I mean, just with Gia, maybe a little bit with Gia, but it didn't last very long.
Yeah, not too much at all. But I mean, Star King wasn't too impressive. Besides the fact that he had Shima to control, that's the only thing that made him a threat. But Shima, just like like James said, she pretty much was probably more interesting because it makes you wonder, did she cause the Ice Age by herself, or was it because Scar King commanded her to?
Yeah, we'll get to that now. Anthony, what was your quick take, man? And then we'll start getting on the film because it's a long film. We won't last too long, but we'll get to the more important parts of it. But what was your first take? What was your first your first take on the film? Like, what you thought of it?
Well, I was going into this one very cautious. I didn't have the best feeling, and especially because I had certain things spoiled for me months ago that my head would have exploded had I just seen it in the theater not knowing about it. Why people just can't not post this stuff. But I got into it, and, I had a lot of fun. I was surprised how much emotion they conveyed through the various Titans. Scar King was an interesting character, even if he boiled down to a punk with a big dog. And like one thing, like I picked up on, like the one character Trapper. Like I was wondering, is this a MASH reference? Because there is a character in the show, Trapper John McIntyre, and he does wear a Hawaiian shirt. But overall, it was pretty fun. I even found the podcast guy who I absolutely hated in Godzilla versus Kong, and I just wanted to see him get killed, that he actually wasn't too annoying in this one. So it was just overall a more rounded picture, and I thought it just struck the right balance towards moving the story along and delivering on the kaiju action.
Yeah, I agree, man. And like, it's, and first of all, like I said, before we go any further into that, you know, I told Anubis, you know, I want to talk about real quick about some of the other people, you know, other Godzilla tubers or whatever who criticize the movie. I don't give a fuck what any of you fucking think, and I don't care. Like, I like this movie, and I'm gonna be more calm than usual because, you know, I gotta tame that animalistic side of me when it comes to people, you know, bashing on what we like. But what D-Man thinks, what other people think, I don't care. I'm gonna like what I like. You know, those other, you know, tubers that I don't know about that actually like to spoil and mess up other people's, you know, excitement when it comes to a movie. But I just enjoy what I enjoy, and you know, I don't care about the critics. Rotten Tomatoes, I couldn't care less about Rotten Tomatoes. This movie's already putting in almost close to 500 million. The numbers speak for themselves. It doesn't have to be a freaking masterpiece. It doesn't have to be like -1. If people like it, if you're true Godzilla fans like it, then, you know, then it doesn't matter what anybody else thinks. Oh, I didn't like the way they make Godzilla. He was too animalistic and too brutal. Like, dude, you got to change it up. You know, Godzilla's gonna have his character, you know, changed a little bit because he's a force of nature. That's the way he should have been in the beginning. You know, like that's what he should have been. Like, he's brutal. He has to keep other Titans in check. And Scylla and Tiamat, you know, they were Titans that were already rebellious, and they didn't really follow his rule. So, you know,
it's like before Godzilla killed her, Godzilla literally gave Tiamat a chance to run away. He basically he blasted her home and said, "Hey, get out! I need this." And then she attacked, and he went, "Okay, I guess I gotta slap this bitch up."
Right.
All I'm gonna say,
like I said, like, go ahead.
All I'm gonna say, if you think Godzilla was too brutal in this movie, don't watch GNK.
Right.
Yeah, exactly.
Because it was an absolute menace.
Yeah, he was brutal, and like I said, okay, there's so many parts of this movie. Like I said, it's long. You know, Trapper, Eileen Andrews, Gia, Bernie, they're all pretty. You know, they're standard characters that, you know, I thought Eileen was more grounded this time, and she was like, you know, the mother figure. And then we go on to, let's say, the opening with Kong. You know, Kong was, dude, they made Kong shine in this movie again. Like, he was, you know, I mean, if you guys notice, he's got more scars on his face. He's got more age. He's got more, you know, like, you know, he's more battle tested, and he's using his brain when it comes to setting traps. And, you know, because he honestly, man, when he started off with those you know, wolf-like creatures, man, he wouldn't stand a chance being overwhelmed by any of those.
No.
So, you know, so I don't blame him for running, but yeah, there's so much. We'll get to some of the favorite parts.
The opening with him being chased by those wolf type things. This movie actually gives you a sense of, when I say a sense of scale, it shows that these things, and Kong is big, but when you see him compared to other type of creatures around, it makes you realize, like, you know, he has something that's pretty much a threat to him, you know. And then you see these things like Yeah, they're pretty big, but they're, that doesn't mean he can't do some innovation to take them out,
Yeah, because
Yeah. No,
a show like Kong could trap them and kill most of them, because Kong knew if he took them head on, the numbers would overwhelm him.
yeah. No, exactly. And then okay, so I'll get back to Anubis. And Anubis, tell me about since it is a long movie, tell me about like the first let's say first parts of the movie. Like, you have the beginning and then the middle, the end. Tell me, like, say like two parts or 3 parts of the first act that you really enjoyed.
Well, I did. Like some of you guys said, I enjoyed first thing I really enjoyed was watching Godzilla get into daylight fights with some of the other kaiju that we'd seen in the past. Scalia being one of them. When I saw a quick glimpse of that in the trailer, I immediately got more excited for the film when we went. Obviously, the cat-like mannerisms of jumping into the arena to take his nap. My wife and I have always talked about Godzilla having cat-like mannerisms throughout his entire career. I enjoyed the fact that they've allowed the Hollow Earth to be, there's like a lot of uncharted territory. So I really like that idea, the concept, because that can leave an open door for stuff down the road with Wingard or whatever. So the fact that there's still so much more that they haven't even discovered down there is like amazing. Outside of that, really just the first part, like, Shimu again, I like the whole concept with her. I actually liked it better that she wasn't like a full villain. I really enjoyed that she's more of a like sort of a neutral Earth defender in some ways. I have to wonder if the lore behind her, because I'm pretty sure she's the one who created the first Ice Age. So part of me wonders if it was either done by her or done by Scar King to try to neutralize Ghidorah. Like, I wonder, because there's no way Scar King's going to defeat Ghidorah. It's just not going to happen. So the only way to really neutralize her, Ghidorah, would be to like shut her down. And so I don't know if that's really tied in there or not, because you have to wonder where or why she was even in the ice to begin with. It's hard to say. That's just a theory, though. It's not anything built into that. But I do like Shimu as a kaiju. I really like it a lot. I like that they had different outposts down there. They're still trying to, like, learn about the kaiju that are down there and stuff like that. And Godzilla still runs the top of the earth. I thought Time was really cool. I wish some of these we could have saw a little bit more from the kaiju, but you only have so much time in the movie to deal with them in a battle. So that was a really cool kaiju as well. So I really enjoyed that a lot. So yeah, Trapper, I didn't mind. I thought he was kind of a fun character. Didn't bother me.
No, yeah, I'll just do a quick take on like the first part so we can get through it, because this movie was long, man. I was like, wow, this movie's long, but at least it was long, but they put everything in, they fit everything in, which was most important. That's what I like about it. But Kong's first scenes, like, being chased by those wolf-like creatures, and then having issues with his mouth because he got an injured tooth or whatever, and then like going up to get help, and then still having those human thoughts and human emotions, like I'm in pain, I got to get ready, and then the battles with like him fighting with the other apes, and then meeting Zuko, and Zuko being like the little sidekick and everything, which worked out really good, and then just the kingdom, that we call it, the planet of the apes vibe that it had, when Kong actually went to the Scar King's lair, that's full of lava and all of that, and then meeting the Scar King, and the Scar King coming off as he's kind of like psycho, like he's like a psycho, like you could tell he's psychotic, and and I'm glad that they didn't give him. I'm glad they didn't make him like on par with Kong, because it would have been harder for Kong to come up with ways to defeat him. But I'm glad that they made him a little more like They made him like a slimy, grimy kind of villain.
Mm-hmm.
You know,
they made him more cunning.
yeah, more cunning and not like
He's not afraid to fight dirty.
yeah, like yeah, he does.
No, he's not.
He does what he does what he has to survive. What was that, Anubis?
I said no. He's not afraid to be
What was that,
dirty.
Anubis?
He's not afraid to play dirty. No, that's what I was agreeing.
Oh yeah. No, exactly. No, yeah, and then Shimo. I mean, Shimo, of course, was very. Shimo was probably one of my favorite parts of the movie. Godzilla evolving, Kong, going through like anything in the Hollow Earth, just as bad as Skull Island can kill you. In the Hollow Earth, even worse. And then Kong killing that giant water serpent, which was pretty cool. Like that serpent fight was pretty cool. Like it was more kaiju action, and that's what I wanted. I mean, yeah, King of the Monsters was also very great, but I wish they would have concentrated on the fights. Not breaking away from the characters like they did in King of the Monsters.
One thing I did like about that the sea creature.
Yeah.
It reminded me a lot of the snake fight with Kong in '76. I really liked that a lot.
Yeah, the giant python. Yeah,
yeah,
that was that was a good one too. And I mean the whole thing, the battle, Shimu's sheer size was crazy, man. Like Shimu's a freaking huge kaiju, man. And I mean, I'm waiting for
to be taller than Ghidorah on her hind legs. Like if she would have stood up on her hind legs, she would have been taller than Ghidorah. Well, that's what's been theorized.
Yeah, but okay. Oh yeah, you're right. I mean, I can't wait for whenever any of you guys get the Hia figure of Shimu to see how she scales up with the other figures that any of you got. I'm pretty sure Kevin got it. I know Kevin got it. I don't know if Anthony got it, but yeah, but like okay now. Going into, I'll get with Anthony going into the second play of the film, like the second part of the movie. What did you think about, let's say, Anthony, like Godzilla going into power up, going to France, getting to the one of the nuclear reactors, and then Gia and them going into the Hollow Earth, finding out about Mothra and all that stuff. Like, what went through your mind about that?
Well, I did like the whole thing with Godzilla getting his power up. How a lot of that was just one big nod to the original King Kong versus Godzilla with the submarine.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
I'm still not the biggest fan of the design, but I do like the whole setup over how it happened, and I do love the back and forth that they have their Godzilla and Kong had their own narratives going back and forth. As far as Mothra, I had alluded there was a monster I knew was going to be in this film because of someone that posted a spoiler. The same someone who the day before the film came out made a post complaining about people spoiling the movies. And then got mad at me for calling him out. So, like, when I saw her move the rocks and you saw the Mothra hieroglyphic, and it was like, that would have been such a great moment. But for me, it was just, how's Mothra going to be incorporated in this? And I was not disappointed. I loved the 2019 design, but this was an improvement in every way to that design. Like, what little needed to be improved, they improved it. The introduction of Scar King, which he did have a great introduction, the way that was shot, and he turned out to be a punk real quick, but like everyone said, I loved his more crafty style, and the whole second act, I think it was just a great setup for all the fun that would happen in the third act, including a scene that was basically remaking the scene from They Live.
Yeah, exactly. No, I mean that's what I'm saying. Like the second act, and then going into him powering up, and then Mothra, the battle with Tiamat, and I mean, man, that was Tiamat. I was like that. I read. I don't know if any of you guys read it, but I did read like the Godzilla versus Kong. Like I have the Dominion and I have the was it Dominion and the one with Kong, but I have both of them, and they did play into it. I mean, I don't know if they made it canon, but it was a good fight with Godzilla keeping Tiamat and Scylla, in their place. But I mean, come on. I mean, they're cool Titans, but they're based off of actual historical
reference.
Gods, not gods, like mythology. They're based off of mythology. So,
yeah, Scylla is based off of something in Greek mythology, and Tiamat, I think it might be based off of maybe a Japanese sea dragon or maybe the Loch Ness monster, if I had to guess.
The whole thing with Scylla being in this movie, it was something I kept arguing in GVK because at the beginning, you see all the different Titans and it said defeated. And I heard people this is lame. Godzilla killed all those monsters off camera. And I'm like, it didn't say killed, it said defeated. So it also showed Rodan as defeated. So he's probably not dead at this point.
Yeah. Oh, I hope so. I hope not. You know, I mean, I wish they would like.
Dan's still currently hibernating.
Yeah, like I mean, he's who knows? He's probably getting stronger. You know, he's probably getting more powerful. Staying in that.
He wants a rematch with Mothra.
I don't know about that.
Well,
he might have not learned his lesson from the first one, but but hey. But no, but that's see all of this stuff is great. The you guys adding to that and like Tiamat, the fight was crazy because I don't know when you saw her wrapping around Godzilla. Godzilla was in actual pain, like very very like squeal, like he was squealing, and I'm like, man. And then when she bit his face literally and was gonna drown him, and I was like, wow,
I think she was actually biting his gill.
Yeah, well, she was trying to cover him.
Where the gills are.
Yeah, she tried to pull that whole like fucking Orga on his shit.
Yeah.
He said, no.
Because it's like, I think I've seen this somewhere before. In another life.
Yeah, like it was. I mean, that's what I mean. It was such good pacing. Like the movie was such good pacing when they would go to Kong, Godzilla, and then they would go to the human pet characters. And yeah, like Bernie was still kind of. He was good, and then Gia being, Gia, and the new. Oh man, that guy. What's his name? Nikolai or whatever. Was his name Nikolai or something? But the pilot, the first pilot that got eaten by that tree monster, bro. And one thing I know that's kind of the second act, but I was like, man, it was so funny because right when he screams at the top of his lungs, I'm in charge, and then he just freaking gets wiped out, dude. I was like, oh my god, I was laughing so hard, man.
All I was thinking is, look, I'm the captain now.
By the way, that little walkie-talkie radio you seen on that guy's uniform, it's actually a Baofeng ham radio. I have the same model, only blue.
Oh wow, really? Hey man, I guess the props. I guess they had to save some money on the props, man, because they don't want to use use the budget they don't want to raise the budget like they did in King of the Monsters. But
the movie is 135 mil from what I heard.
I got a question. So a classmate brought this up to me, and it's something I didn't notice. Did you guys notice that Mothra may have had a set on her chest?
No.
Okay, this guy mentioned, like, they gave Mothra this, and I went, wait, there was a movie on giant monsters, and you were literally looking at that?
Yeah, I don't know, man. Like, I swear, some of these people, bro, are really twisted, man.
Yeah, I mean, there's only people trying to set Godzilla and Mothra up as a couple. Even when King of Monsters explained that it's a symbiotic relationship, not a romantic relationship.
Yeah.
Jose Petron, my primo, glad you jumped in on the stream, brother. So what's up? So okay, now we get into final act, and I'll try to get. I'm gonna get everyone, but I'll start off. I'll go back to Walter. So Walter, like, okay, we're getting into the third act. Scarred King breaks open. Oh, forgot. Kong gets injured by Shimu, and he's really badly injured, and they kind of like, I did like that scene about where he did look pretty bad, man, and then they show that sympathy, that that part of that dramatic sense of film where he's really hurt, and he's grunting, and he's all that stuff. So, and then he gets the glove, he gets he gets the antibiotics that are injected into his arm, and like from there on, man, you see Mothra. Okay, the birth. Okay, I forgot that the birth of Mothra, man. I'm not gonna lie, I almost teared up. I teared up a little bit when Mothra returned, because, like I said, I've always been a fan of Mothra. I saw Mothra when I was young, so it was a great like feeling to have her back in the movie. I never saw any spoilers on that on Mothra, actually, because I kept away from that after, towards the release of the film. But all of that adding, bro. Start off my brother Jedi Granville, where Kong starts and he goes after Godzilla to go get help.
Oh god, dude. This is whoa. This is where I start to feel like a kid in the candy store quick, man. Stuco actually tells me, you need to find, he pretty much says, the apes are coming, but King Kong explains to Dio that, it's like I'm gonna try to get Kong, get Godzilla, because I can't do this alone, even he knows this, So he heads up, goes to one of the portals, and boom, he's in Africa. He's in Egypt. He gets there, and you see him, and then I gotta say, this is what's so funny. He calls out for Godzilla. He's trying to tell him, when he sees him and everything, it's like, dude, I need your help. But Godzilla, I don't know, when he's on just like a fever, I want to beat some ass right now. He's going after Kong, and Kong points to him at the portal and everything. And when he gets up on him, you say, "Hold up, man!" And this is where all three of the pyramids get wiped out. Another landmark gets out. And he's trying to get Godzilla, like, dude, chill the fuck out. I'm trying to tell you, I need your help. Because at one point he beats him up, knocks him out, but Godzilla, he was relentless. He's gonna get back up and everything. And Godzilla has him on the rope, got him down. He's about to fire breath, but then it's when the moment Martha comes in, boom, it's like, knock your ass down, chill the fuck out, And dude, I gotta say, that you said you almost cried at this moment with this Martha coming in the scene. This moment really made me want to kind of tear up, because I'm looking at both Godzilla, Martha, and Kong in the same scene, same frame. This is something I would say I would never imagine in my age see something like this. This is like, oh man, this is like film history right now, because you're seeing classic monsters on the screen that are divided by time, but at the same time, it's like, dude, this is why I say I feel like a kid in the candy store moment right here, because I'm just like, what the, And then, like I say, that's gonna be like one of those things that's gonna be just referenced and just gonna be famous for iconic wise. But let's get back to where they get back to the Hall of Earth, and dude, here comes. We see Star King is broken down where the Eevee are and everything. Here comes Godzilla and Kong, and they doing the Apollo Rocky run, but it's like, here we go, and it was funny. They do that one reference, and then they do another Rocky 3 moment when Godzilla, when Kong jumped on Godzilla's back, and they had all three.
Hold on, like, there's no easy way out. There's no shortcut home.
That was
way out.
Dude, I'm sorry. I got excited. This is why I said, dude, I'm glued to my seat. I'm watching this, and I'm like, dude, I was not expecting how this is going to turn out. I didn't do, but I don't want to take up too much because I could talk all day with this, but let's get somebody else with this. Talk about it.
No, but I'll go. Well, I'll go to. Okay, give me a second. I remember we cannot forget the reference to Ghidorah, the three-headed monster, when it's Mothra, Godzilla, and Kong all in one frame. And to me, that seems like it was a reference from Ghidorah, the three-headed monster, which is probably you guys already know is my all-time favorite movie from Godzilla from the show era. And yeah, man, it was awesome, dude. Like the whole battle, all of that was awesome. Shimu being a victim, being controlled by pain by the Scar King, and then from there on, I'll move it to Anubis when, let's say, when Godzilla and Kong already head back to the Hollow Earth and they start battling the Scar King and Shimu. Take it away from there, Anubis.
Yeah, so obviously they come back down, and then the war is gonna start, and this is where it starts moving into like Marvel territory. You've got them jumping from gravity rock to gravity rocks, and one thing about the Mothra though, I remember when Gia and them were first seeing the symbol on the stone before they got into where she was hidden. I turned to Neko. I said, if Mothra shows up in this, I'm going to lose my shit. And of course she did, and we lost our shit. So I was like really happy about that. But yeah, back to the war. It was kind of cool how Kong and Godzilla were kind of keeping the ground attack with Scar King and Shimu, where Mothra was kind of just circling around trying to protect the portals so they couldn't get back through. It's one of the more sillier moments of the movie, but I didn't really mind it too much. But yeah, it is kind of interesting looking at Shimu's size compared to Godzilla and Kong. Like, she's enormous, like just huge. And yeah, I don't know, man. Like, it was the whole, like, when they're both jumping off the rocks at each other and tackling each other. It's like, I can only think of like Marvel at that point, but it's a lot of fun. It's silly fun, and that's what you expected, from that movie.
Yeah, like, no, I mean, it was, like I said, it had its sci-fi moments, fantasy moments, it had the drama moments, it had the comic relief moments, and it all meshed good. Like, it was a movie that to me like came together well. And then like you said, going into the war, they're still in the Hollow Earth, and then I'll pass it to John. And John, what did you think about when Shimu started battling Godzilla, during the whole gravity? Because their mass, to me, it seemed like their mass was much bigger, but I mean,
I'd say Godzilla.
Kong, of course.
Oh,
go ahead.
I was going to say, I think Godzilla was I'd say out of all of them that were fighting anti-gravity, Godzilla was the least affected by it because he's so used to it because he spends most of his time in the water. So, because he was moving like how he would when he was in the water. So it seemed like he had the least issues just moving in anti-gravity because he's so used to fighting in that kind of area. I just liked how he was literally rugby tackling the Kongs left and right. And then 2 times he's literally just shoulder crashing to Shima like she's nothing. I'm still disappointed that we didn't have a Hedorah moment where he literally blasted himself into her using the anti-gravity. Because I was just waiting for one moment for him to be like, you know what? I'm going to use my atomic breath and rocking myself into Shima, making my spines crash into her.
Oh, God.
But I liked how Kong had a proud father moment with Zuko. Because you remember there was that scene where Kong's getting ready to punch Scar King again right before he could. One of his insurgents grabs him, and Zuko literally throws 2 rocks at him. And Kong has that, and then goes back and continues fighting Scar King. He just had that's my boy, even though it's not really my boy. But then Shimo, again, she was massive. I think it was a good thing they did anti-gravity first because you got to see a little bit more how big she is compared to Godzilla. My friends I watched it with, I just saw my friend's wife look at him and go, holy crap, she is big. Because they asked me, like, who is this mystery titan? And I'm like, I can show you if you don't mind spoilers, but I don't want to show you because I want you guys to be surprised. So, like, they have to say, I'm like, okay, so I show them the Hia figure. And I'm like, how big is she? I'm like, she pretty much comes up to Godzilla's chest on all fours, but on her highlights she should be even taller than Ghidorah. But she's pretty much going to be massive compared to everyone else. That's why Kong needs Godzilla. Oh, special guest.
Yeah. No, but yeah, man. But it's Shimu was having a hard time moving in the anti-gravity or whatever, and then going back to before we go towards the finale, I wanted to talk about Gia and the older girl that was to me it seemed like a reference of the twins of the Shobijin twins, but not too out there, like not too like trying to keep it traditional, but they did it like in their own way, I guess. And it was a good way to, if they did reference the Shobijin twins, and she and the story behind it, like they said, the story about Eileen Andrews talks about the Scar King, Godzilla. That's cool. The reference they say about Godzilla, the one who ate a star, like that was a good reference. I did actually.
Yeah, like that was the way to describe how Godzilla got his power. So if I had to guess, his species never used atomic breath. So they must have ate something within the hollow earth or absorbed something that gave them that power. Is what I'm guessing.
Yeah. So now we'll jump on to the finale. We'll all talk about the finale in our way, but I want to give it to Anthony. I wanted to give it to Anthony. And Anthony, tell me about when they finally, head to Rio de Janeiro. They come out and, Shimu and Scar King first, but let me know what was your thoughts on that?
Well, before I get to that, because it was the Egypt scene was mentioned, I alluded to it earlier, but who else saw that scene and thought the fight scene in They Live, instead of put on the glasses, it was getting the hole?
Yes, I did notice that. Yes.
Listen, the Rio de Janeiro thing, it might have had my favorite gag in the movie because, well, first I like how it just sets up Scar King and Shimo show up. He activates that crystal, and you can tell it's causing her pain, but she sprays her ice breath in the air and takes out a bunch of people. But what I loved is when Godzilla and Kong showed up. When they first met, Scar King was laughing at his artificial tooth. Kong just knocks Scar King's tooth right out.
Yeah.
And Kong laughs at him.
But who's laughing now? But at this point, we left just I can't even think of the word. We just left normal and just believable behind a long time ago, and we're just completely along for the ride, and they just went full on with this fight. We got Godzilla fighting Shimo, the power versus the power. We had Kong and Scar King. We had Scar King fighting Shimo and Godzilla fighting Scar King, which he clearly wanted no part of. When Godzilla put the attention on him, he tried to get away, and that we even have little Suko play a role in this fight. Like, not only with the four mains did you get every possible combination of the teams fighting each other, but you had great cinematography that when we're in the Hollow Earth, they don't really sell the scale because you don't need to. But once they put it in Rio, like, they really hit you with the scale of just how big these things are. The camera work was great. I just loved the payback once they took care of that crystal and how Scar King got took away. I just thought he has that moment of realizing, I'm by myself, aren't I?
No, it's like, hey, about all of that, this was just a joke, man. No trouble.
Yeah, no hard feelings, guys. How about I just hop right back in the Hollow Earth?
Just a prank, bro.
But when Kong got him in the chokehold, it almost seems like he was pointing to Shimu and saying, you freeze this dude, do something. It's like, I don't think so, bro.
It's like Shima looked at Godzilla and Godzilla roared. So many fans are wondering if she did it because they felt like Godzilla was commanding her. I asked a friend of mine, he goes, what I think was going on is Shimo had Stockholm Syndrome.
Well, kind of my theory, because we had mentioned it, I think Shimo did freeze Ghidorah in the ice, but at that point she wasn't under Scar King's control. Her and Godzilla probably worked together, and a portion of one of the crystal spikes of hers broke off, and that's what Scar King got and discovered he could control her with it.
So to go back to that crystal, one of the funniest moments to me was when, of course, when Godzilla charges up his breath and Scar King realizes, oh, I better get the heck out of here. And there was that scene where Scar King finally gets the crystal back. He's like happy, and as soon as Godzilla's getting ready to blast him again, he's like, oh, and just immediately throws the crystal and takes off running. Like, Scar King was content for 1 second, then he saw he was charged up again. He's like, oh crap, and accidentally drops the crystal and takes off for the hills.
Yeah, he wanted no part. And then, Kong was getting the better of Scar King, on the top of the earth, of course, in the surface, he was getting. It's like Kong was like, being more acrobatic and getting the better of the Scar King. The Scar King's like, yeah, this is a whole new world to me. This isn't the Hollow Earth, and that's why I thought for Kong it was really good that he put in his time, man. And Shimu, I don't think Shimu right now. I'll get to everybody's opinion on that, but I don't think Shimu was afraid of Godzilla or Kong. I just think she was more like, she knew that she didn't have to follow the control anymore, and then that was it. She did her own thing, and she redeemed herself by killing the Scar King, and I'm pretty sure she felt good about that. So, I'm glad she did that. And to me, she was just, like I said, she was put at the wrong place, the wrong time. She was getting taken advantage of, and that's how I see it. Was she intimidated by Godzilla? Maybe, but I don't think she's afraid of him. But I mean, because Godzilla shot at her with his heat ray, and it looked like it didn't affect her at all. It looked like it didn't affect her at all.
I think there's a scene when he broke out of the ice when he first made the Rio and he first blasted her. Maybe I was just seeing things, but it looked like some of the frost on her, like looked like her armor was dissipating.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, it could be. I mean, when we get when the Blu-ray release is out, man. I mean, we'll see. But besides that, guys, okay. I want to get back to Anubis, and I'll go to Walter. What did you guys think of the finale? And now that once Scar King was done, you saw the good, you saw the ending, happy ending, and what the ending showed for Godzilla and what it showed for Kong when he went back to the Hollow Earth.
The final fight was kind of quick, but it played out pretty much how I thought it might. Obviously, they were able to free Shimu from the talisman and whatnot, and the way that Scar King went out was pretty legit. Kong got his day to smash him like Sub-Zero, basically. I thought it was really good. As far as them at the very end, kind of expected. Nothing blew me away there, but it was how it pretty much played out. Godzilla went back to his little arena, went to sleep. So, yeah, it was okay. It was kind of quick, but I enjoyed it.
Yeah, and Walter, last thoughts, and then I'll try to get to everybody on the final ending and the happy ending. What did you think about it?
I'm kind of like with the news. The fight was like a little short. I mean, I would like it to be a little longer, but hey, you only get so much. But no, I enjoyed that, and then the fact that things were wrapped up between Gia and Lena, because she was like, didn't want to let go, but in the end, it's like, I need to, you're my family, you're my most of that human interaction. But the real thing that got me was Kong is now king of the, as you mentioned before, the the Planet of the Apes routine where he goes down and he takes Summit, Timo, and Tuco, and he pretty much saying, we rule, baby. We kings, we're apes forever. I'm just like, I love that moment because this is where I think he finally gets his title king. Even though he was kind of king before, this is where Kong is king now. And it just ends like that. I feel like that to me is a good bow, but I say I wish that fight could have been a little longer. But hey, you take it with you good with that.
Yeah, I mean, I'll just say like I did like the ending. It was cool. Godzilla going back to the Coliseum, going back to sleep, and then Kong and Zuko and Shimu going back to the Hollow Earth, and Kong riding Shimu, and then and having Zuko on his shoulder, and then and then Shimu kind of like accepting Kong, as Kong, treating her like, hey, it wasn't your fault. You were under, you were under control, whatever. He had you just, controlled by pain and everything. And I'm glad that, that they showed her sheer size, that, how immensely powerful and strong she is. And, it was a great ending, man. Gia and Eileen saying all this, we go together, we're a family, this and that. It was good. And same thing. What did you guys, to finish off the stream, what did you guys think, Anthony and John? Well, I'll start with Anthony and then go to John.
I thought it ended on a pretty good note. Like, a part of me at first, I'm like, would Shimo follow Godzilla around because, like, their species probably shares some kind of genus? But it does make sense if she has the potential to cause an ice age. It would be better for everyone for her to be in the Hollow Earth. Kong coming back as just king and finding his own kind. The mother-daughter scene, even though I wish they would have shown something with Mothra in it, but she's not dead and she's out there is good. And I do love the little laugh of Godzilla at the end when you see the police officer outside the Coliseum with the he's just looking up. And I'm like, that's his bed. It belongs to him. You should just accept it now.
Yeah.
I know.
And John.
I'm
sorry.
Wanted to do it, but like the next movie, he didn't say he wanted to do that. He wanted to do for Godzilla what he did for Kong. But the next movie, we just really do need to give Godzilla something to protect.
Yeah. No, I'm not. It was you're right, man. And I said on the Mothra thing, they did show her, patching up that silk like little shield that covered
that barrier again.
Yeah, the barrier. There you go, building that barrier. And no, I mean all your takes are good. And now John, last thoughts on the ending, man.
I'll say the same thing as Anubis and Jedi have said. I felt it was short. Like, I expected to be more drawn out. Because when Wingon mentioned he was a big fan of the show era, there were a bit more references. And I'm like, okay, we're going to see some. Because I remember hearing in a link that there was going to be anti-gravity fights. I'm like, they better incorporate the iconic Hedorah scene. Because I'm like, this is the only way they can get away with that. And I went, crap, I didn't show it. But, I mean, it was great to see Kong finally beat King Kong. And it showed like Shimo was more of a victim than anything. In fact, I'm theorizing her species are more peaceful until you actually provoke them. And, of course, seeing Godzilla go back to sleep in the Coliseum again, hilarious. And in the novelization of the movie, it explains he actually sleeps there because it reminds him of his home before it got destroyed. Like, that's the closest resemblance to his home. And I'm like, you know what? That's actually a nice touch to show like Godzilla is capable of that kind of memory. He can see that detail and be like, hey, this looks just like what my home once was. So I'm going to sleep here because it's that familiarization. But overall, I mean, it was a great love letter to the show, and it was a fun watch. I enjoyed it. If other people don't, that's their thing, but don't hate on the Monsterverse when it's helping Toho make bank. And I'm trying to think what else I'm trying to say. Oh, yeah. There was a Showa reference right at the very beginning of the movie. Did you guys see that graffiti painting when Godzilla was walking by in Rome? So Adam Wingard mentioned he actually put those Easter eggs there because that's stuff he hopes to do within the Monsterverse. Like those ideas he had. Like we saw a Mothra vs. Godzilla reference. We saw Hedorah reference. We saw a Megalon reference because we saw that fist that said punch, punch, punch. And then Invasion of the Astro Monster reference, even a Pacific Rim reference. We saw all of that in one billboard. And he said this is actually stuff that he would like to do or ideas he has. So it makes me wonder where he's going to go. We do know he may give him a Godzilla Jr., or at least that's his plan. I'm hoping it's like Heisei Godzilla Jr. from Godzilla vs. Destroy, and not like Little Godzilla from Godzilla vs. Space Godzilla. Because I don't want Baby Godzilla to be kind of goofy. Like, the only thing I would mind that would be funny is if, like, Zuko goes to pest him and he just blasts him or something. And Zuko goes, okay, I won't mess with this one now. He's obviously not one to be trifled with.
Or Kong catches him and scolds him severely.
Who? Junior or
Kong catches Zuko antagonizing the baby Godzilla, and he has to take discipline into his hands.
He's just looking at him like, listen, it's like scolding a kid they mess with a rattlesnake. It's like, you mess with him and you're going to get it.
Yeah.
But it makes me wonder, he said his favorite thing was Godzilla vs. Destroyer, but he also said he hopes to incorporate Hedorah. So it makes you wonder what direction he'll go with that.
Yeah. Well, I'm hoping it continues. Obviously, it's going to continue because they went off of they're going off of how successful the film was going to be, and obviously the film is very successful. Everybody likes it. Everybody's watching it. Even after being in being in theaters for this long, it's still making money and it's still generating buzz. So, but yeah, man, like just to I appreciate all your guys' thoughts on the film, and yeah, I mean it's always great. It's always great to talk about the films and Godzilla in general with all you guys, sci-fi, everything, and to close it all out, man, to close out this live stream, I want to thank you guys for joining me for this, out of the blue random stream that I wanted to do since I'm feeling better and trying to, get my bearings back to doing live streams and podcasts and everything. And yeah, so, first, no, yeah, I mean, I appreciate you guys having on you, it's the first podcast live stream for 2024, the Year of the Dragon, and I always reference that this year for the Year of the Dragon. And I appreciate you guys, DJ Anubis, DJ Anubis, Jedi Graham Bell, Anthony Jordan from Anthony Jordan Movies and More and Gaming, and of course Big Bad Wolf. I will let you guys know when I'm gonna do another podcast. Let's see what happens the next month, whatever I have to deal with, but it's always a pleasure and a privilege to hang out with you guys, the crew, the Metal Tavern, the Sci-Fi Society, Big Bad Wolf, Anthony Jordan, man. So everyone who was watching, thank you for joining. Thank you for adding your 2 cents. Jose Betran, Kevin Lambert from Entertainment Headquarters, Little Loki. So this is the Sci-Fi Society. We always keep it raw and real. Japan was a blast. I'll let you guys know when I have the next podcast. So we are gonna be out.
that whole story, like that's pay-per-view, guys. And you don't get a lot of that stuff.
I'll write
No,
the book one day.